Ready. Play.
Regarding the women's final, which of course will be tomorrow, we're going to see Aryna Sabalenka in her third consecutive Madrid final. But we're not going to see her face the familiar foe, the person that she's played in the previous two. It's going to be Coco Gauff, because Coco Gauff yesterday beat Iga Swiatek 6-1, 6-1. What has been the reaction in Poland and elsewhere, and even in the mind of Damien Kuss to that?
I'm in Portugal, so I don't know what the reaction is like in Poland. I mean, it's not like it's a singular thing, right? It's more of a continuation of what's been happening to Iga over the past many months. So while this is like kind of the sharpest moment that we've seen so far, there's also the question of like what happens in Rome and Roland Garros, but because these are the events where she usually is going to be, well, the biggest favorite of possible favorites on the WTA circuit. So it's not quite, dramatic to that point yet, I think. But obviously everybody is wondering who to fire, really, whether it should be Daria or Wim. That's pretty much the main thing. And yeah, I mean, 6-1, 6-1, that's going to be tough to handle. It kind of feels like she undermined all the good work that she did during that week, in terms of winning all these tough matches, getting back to some encounters that she was out of. And yeah, I mean, presently, you gotta remember what, Rome, Roland Garros, they are coming. They are probably going to be a bit better, but it's just tough to see her as like an overwhelming favorite to win anything at this stage.
She wins Rome, and I think we're sort of much more confident about her chances.
Depending on the style, but yeah.
In Paris, but we'll see. Anyway, that was a bruising defeat for her. There's a stat about the last time she lost in such a manner, right? Is it like 5 years ago or something like that?
Oh, I mean,
there's a couple of stats about that loss that are sort of kind of fairly novel for her. Yeah,
Ostapenko recently was 3 games.
It might be the clay factor. Then it was 1-1 on clay.
Before that was a couple of years. But anyway, she also got bageled by Keys in this event, which was the first time in clay since 2019, first time overall since 2021.
Any area of Iga's game that Wim has improved, or between them? I think
every area. I mean, just honestly thinking. I mean, not panicking on the court, mental side of it. Everything else is irrelevant, to be honest. I mean, obviously she still doesn't serve too well. That's always going to be a thing, at least for now. But mostly just clarity of thought on the court. Yeah, not going into panic mode, internalizing any of the ideas that Fisset seems to have for her.
I think there's a trust issue there going on, and we've seen it manifest itself from time to time. But she needs to probably pursue this a bit longer, in my opinion. But we'll see if she does have that patience.
Trust issue, but between who? Daria Wim or Iga Wim? Or, I mean, we just don't know. But yeah.
Well, Vance says he thinks he knows that their relationship between Iga and Wim will be done within 2 months, is what he tweeted yesterday.
I mean, that's not really Iga's decision, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, Coco Gauff was there to take advantage, and take advantage she did, storming into her first ever Madrid final. Coco as well has had a pretty rough year, I would say, certainly since that loss to Badosa in Australia. That seemed to knock her sideways, and she's not been in a final since, but now she is in Madrid. Of course, I guess she benefits. That gets a bit more pop in Madrid than it might do elsewhere. I remember Coco in 2023. I mean, all players have, good wins, bad losses, etc. But that loss that she had to Badosa in Madrid, I think it was 6-3, 6-love in 2023, and Badosa was just bullying that forehand, or not even bullying it, just giving it, and Gauff obliging. That at least seems like a long time ago, at least in terms of this particular tournament in Madrid. And yeah, I'm going to have a quick look at her path to the final elsewhere. I'm just wondering who else she's beaten en route, actually.
Yastremska, obviously, in the second round, love 6 opening set. She survives that, and she kind of picks herself up.
Yeah, right.
Bencic Andreeva against Mira. There were these 2 set points where Mira completely collapses. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's a back in form. With Coco, everything feels weird because after the first 9 matches, we would have said she probably like finishes the year number 1 or whatever. And we still don't know if it's just like Brad Gilbert came in and did amazing work with her for like 2 months. Matt Daly came in and it was pretty much the same. And then there's a drop off that is kind of not really understandable. A lot of the issues with the forehand and the second serve just come back right away. I mean, she's done well, obviously, in the last few rounds to avoid that. And now she's in the final, which is amazing for her. It's 5-4 for her in the head-to-head. And what I like about this head-to-head as well is like whatever sample you look at, it's basically tied. Like last 2 matches, tied. Last 4 matches, tied. Last 6 matches, tied. Last 8 matches, tied. So, she has to have at least a puncher's chance for sure. And yeah, that win against Iga, yeah, she served great. I mean, definitely. But still didn't really feel like a win where, she has to show something unbelievable. But it has to be a confidence builder.
On the other side of the net, as I say, will be Aryna Sabalenka, her 3rd final in a row. She's won 1 and lost 1. She's also won Madrid twice. I think she won it a few years before, right?
21 and 23. Lost in the final last year, as you said. 22, she lost to Anisimova in the opening round.
She also had 1 match point or 2 match points last year?
3.
Oh, wow, 3. In what was arguably the WTA match of the year.
Not arguably.
Yeah, it was our match of the year.
Clearly, obviously, visibly, apparently the match of the year.
Yeah, I would say so too. Although I think that the expression arguably, funnily enough, is often used in the case of when it's likely to have been, even though it sounds a bit contradictory given the word is arguable. Yeah, so Sabalenka, anyway, she is in the final. She won her semi-final against Svitolina. Sorry, no, Kostyuk wasn't in the semi-final. Svitolina.
The other way around.
Kostyuk quarterfinal, Svitolina semifinal. Did you see the controversy or hear about the controversy she had in her quarterfinal with Kostyuk? So there was a few spots of rain, and she said that one of them went in her eye, and therefore she wasn't able to take her second serve. They went off court, and when they came back on court, she of course had that first serve back. Yeah, so that is.
Doesn't sound too controversial, to be honest.
I mean, to me, it does. I think she should have played the second serve. It's just a few spots of rain. She obviously wants to win the point. She wants to win.
Yeah, but
the
if they
tennis
went
match.
off the court, then that clearly means that the umpire also decided that.
Yeah, but there's not the decision wasn't made from the umpire. She went to the umpire and said, "Look, this rain is getting too much."
Yeah, but if the umpire decided that it's
sure,
not,
the umpire should have been stronger.
Then the umpire just says,
the umpire needs to be stronger. Yeah, absolutely. But it's controversial.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm just basing this on the description. I haven't seen it, but yeah, I mean, it's obviously not up to her to stop playing.
Absolutely.
So, if the umpire decided that the rain is indeed getting a bit too heavy, then she deserved the first serve back, I guess.
Yeah, but she should have been stronger. I think the umpire there. But anyway, Aryna took advantage and ends up going through in straight sets. She's the favorite in the final, right?
I think so. I think anytime they're playing in like relatively quick conditions, I've been going with Aryna with, let's say mixed results, because there is that US Open final, for example. But yeah, sure. I do think she is kind of like a machine this year, really. If she won the Australian Open final, she would be having like a flawless season almost. And yeah, I just think in Madrid especially, she's almost unstoppable typically. She's definitely going to be like the player controlling things. We've seen Coco produce some amazing defensive performances against her, including that US Open final. Typically, I tend to favor Aryna a little bit, especially in conditions like that. But yeah, I'm not. Obviously, you can't be like uber certain about it. Also, Sabalenka has already played a few, let's say, defensively oriented players this week, and she's held up okay. So maybe that will help her a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to go against Sabalenka in Madrid, basically. Anisimova, it's like one of her worst matchups on tour. She lost to her. Swiatek, of course, it was a titanic effort last year to beat Aryna, so why not?
I mean, her year has been pretty mega in terms of just making finals left, right, and center. The final in Stuttgart, the final in Miami, final in Indian Wells. It was just that Middle East bit that she just seemed to be undermotivated for, as she has been in other years. Final in Australia, final in Brisbane. I guess the sort of negative spin on it is that she's lost more finals than she's won. She won Brisbane, she lost the final in Australia, she lost the final in Indian Wells, then won in Miami, but then also lost in Stuttgart to Yelena Ostapenko just a couple of weeks ago. But we both think she's winning this one, right?
Yeah, she's easily kept up her status of the best player in the world so far. And yeah, I mean, against Gauff here, I have to treat her as the favorite, especially on probably one of her favorite courts. I guess maybe even her favorite, really, on tour. I don't know. Is there an event that she's dominating quite like that? I guess Wuhan she was.
Australian Open?
Oh yeah, Australia. I mean, she's won it 3 times. Yeah, I mean, didn't win it here. Yeah, yeah. I guess these 3 more or less. Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.